Good evening and welcome to Level Up. Thanks for joining us tonight. I am so excited for tonight's show. I have my good friend here, Mr. Ken Heath. Ken, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Everton Samuels. Thank you.
Tell us who is Ken and what you do.
Well, I guess if I'm to define myself, I'm a father of 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. I'm a grandfather to 3 as well. I like to think I'm a Christian.
Yes, absolutely.
Myself and Mr. Samuels attend the same church.
Yes, we do.
I'll make this point real quick. From the moment I walked into the church, I felt a warmth that exuded from this man. There was a sincerity.
I appreciate that.
There was a sincerity in his smile. There was a welcoming in his overall attitude and his body language. We met, we shook hands, and it's been nothing but
great.
love.
No, honestly, from the day we met, the relationship has been real, and I appreciate that. The energy has been real. You walked in, and like-minded men that we are.
Yes.
Fathers, and we like to serve the community.
Yes.
And so that same energy just came over. So I appreciate that you came over. But since we have met,
yes,
I've come to know you and let the audience know who you are. So what do you do, sir?
I'm a paralegal, and if anyone is not familiar with a paralegal, I am maybe one step below a lawyer.
Okay.
We do have our parameters in what we can do insofar as the fields that we can work in. I primarily got involved as a traffic ticket specialist, I would say, as a paralegal. I have recently branched off into criminal matters. I'm also, I do personal injury, and I do some small claims as well. We are not, as paralegals, allowed to do, let's say, the more serious criminal matters. I could do summary criminal matters, meaning common assaults, minor thefts and frauds, etc. But when it comes to things like assault with a weapon or sexual assault or murder, stuff like that, no, they don't allow us to go in that area.
So I didn't know you can branch off from being a paralegal into criminal matters. So is that something else that you had to, another course or another program?
Well, interestingly enough, I kind of got dragged into it.
Yeah.
There was a young lady and her 2 sisters that were charged with assault.
Yeah.
And I defended all 3 of them. I found it interesting. So to me, it was like baptism by fire. I wasn't very aware, but law is law, and you can kind of maybe gravitate into other areas of law or assimilate in other areas of law, as long as you have the basics and the verbiage and stuff comes after.
Yeah.
But you have to have a certain confidence in order to get into it, because I just kind of jumped into the fire. And I said, I'm going to help you and do the best I can.
Jumped in the water, just learned to swim, that was it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of paralegal, and so you probably work with a lot of youth.
I do. Well, primarily I work with young adults.
Okay.
Because the traffic ticket work,
Yep.
you do get a lot of the young adults, the 20s, the 19-year-olds, the stunt drivings, the excessive speedings, driving under suspensions, the no insurance. I mean, you can look at my business and think, traffic tickets, stop signs, red lights. No. I'm looking at guys that are looking at sometimes 90 days in jail for driving under suspension too many times. No insurance, stunt driving.
So the rules off the road.
You have to know what they are, and you cannot ignore them. But this is why I'm in a successful business, because my business is predicated on people who get themselves in trouble.
But how do you navigate? So there's a lot of young drivers on the road, and let's take it even deeper. We're in the month of February, which is Black History Month.
Of course.
And how do you talk, or what advice would you give to young drivers out there driving in terms of knowing their legal rights when it comes to dealing with police officers?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I like to say, just be respectful when an officer pulls you over, right? It's one thing to ask, officer, why did you pull me over? I just want to know.
Yeah.
But do it in a way where it's respectful.
Okay.
You don't have to get into why will you pull me over for? Because I'm black. No. Because these guys are human, and let's face it. You attack them, they're going to get aggressive. You'll raise the temperature of the situation. I've been stopped several times. I mean, here again, because I'm in the business, I'm a mature man, so I think I'll get treated differently than if you're a young adult or a young man and you're driving a real nice car. Because the first thing comes to a policeman's mind, what's he doing to get that car?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so he may come to you with a little bit of an attitude in his approach. I think it's important, though, that rather than escalate the situation, it's okay for you to say, well, officer, I just want to know why you pulled me over. Well, sir, you were speeding. Well, I don't think I was speeding, but officer, if you say I was speeding, I'll deal with the matter in court. Give me a ticket and I'll deal with it. Fine. It's when you take it real personally and you pull me over because I'm black and you know.
But isn't there the human tendency or the that narrative that you do pull me over because I'm black or because I'm driving a certain car and it's tinted? So that narrative exists.
It does.
So what? Are there some tips or some things that we should know as individuals that if you do get pulled over by police officers, here are your rights?
You have the right, obviously, to ask an officer, why did you pull me over?
Okay.
There's no question with that.
Okay.
And an officer can or cannot, he may or may not actually explain to you. There has to be probable cause in his mind. But he'll come to you and he'll say, I need your license, proof of ownership, proof of insurance and your ownership.
Yep.
License, ownership, proof of insurance. And if you say, you know, why did you pull me over? At that point in time, here again, it all comes down to your interaction. Officer, I just want to know why you pulled me over. You were speeding, sir. Okay, you reach in and grab your documents. And you do present them, right? If you're not under arrest, you have the right to remain silent. I think you know that right off the bat. You won't be under arrest for anything unless this thing escalates and, you know. An officer can't stick his head in your car, and if he smells marijuana, he could ask, is there marijuana in the car? And you have to have that marijuana sealed as well as hidden in plain view. Same with a bottle of any kind of liquor. You have to have it sealed. As a matter of fact, when it comes to liquor, you got to have it in the trunk. You can't have it in the car. Okay?
So as a teen, so as a parent, I'm a parent, my kids are in the early stage of learning to drive.
Yes.
And having a black son who's driving a car, and he's driving my car, and it could be a nice car. And so you're saying that he should know that he has certain rights. And one of those rights is that he has a right to ask the officer, why are you pulling me over?
There's no question. You have that right, but here again, the officer doesn't necessarily have to respond to you. Because, I mean, here's what happens in a lot of cases, and I hear this quite frequently. I've stopped you because you were speeding.
Yeah.
Can I see the radar? Can I see the speed measuring device, sir? Officer, I don't have to show that to you. And he has the right not to. If the interaction is friendly, he can. I said, okay, come to my car and I'll show it to you. Sometimes if the officer feels a certain way about you, he doesn't want you getting out your car or coming to him because obviously there's, in his mind, a potential risk. But generally he'll say, if you have a question or a problem, you have the right to challenge this in court. File it not guilty, and you can get the disclosure, and then you can review it yourself, or you have someone review it for you. So yeah, you do have that. It's not necessarily your right to see a speed measuring device. You were caught speeding. Yeah. If you want to get the information, you'll get it at court. And if it's stunt driving, then it's generally 50 over. Or if you're in a zone that's under 80, 40 over, those are considered stunt driving. 50 over is a 100 zone, right, which would be the 401 or any of the 400 series highways. If you're in an under 80 zone, if you're doing 40 over, that's 40 or more, that's considered stunt driving as well. Okay. Be mindful.
As a parent, to talk to a parent out there who their kids are learning to drive for the first time, what tip or advice would you give to a parent to give to their child? So, okay, they're going on the road to learn to drive. What tip would you give them, the parents, to give to their child?
Okay. If we're talking about people of color?
Yes, absolutely, of color. Black History Month, so definitely people of color, absolutely.
We're talking about people of color?
Yes.
Like I said, just be respectful. That a police officer has pulled you over. No need to escalate, no need to get all mouthy with the police officer. You pull me over because I'm black, I'm not going to have that, I'm going to suggest you don't have that conversation. Because the other thing is also this, because I've seen this happen before, and it's a kind of a comical situation. The officer takes notes of what it is you say.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, right now, they come to you in the city of Toronto, they all have body cam.
Okay.
And they also have the in-car camera.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the body cam, they'll come to you and they'll say, do you understand that this conversation is being recorded? I have you on my body camera. So anything you say, obviously, it's recorded. Before, they just used to take notes. And then it comes down to your word against his, right?
So the body cam now is mandatory in Toronto?
In the city of Toronto, yeah.
Oh, really?
Metro police officers, yes.
Okay.
OPP, not all of them have it at this point.
Good to know. I didn't know it wasn't in Toronto. It was mandatory in Toronto. That's good to know that.
So now there is no question as to what has occurred between you and your interaction between you and the officer. It's for your safety. It's also for his safety. Yeah. It's no longer your word against his. Here it is. You know, you have it on tape. You'll see it. As well as if you do make a request for the officer's notes, because he does also have to make physical notes of the situation. The request for disclosure also includes the body cam interaction with my client, as well as the in-car camera. So if there's a chase, if there's a, you know what I mean, if there's a speeding scenario, yeah, he's got to chase you. It's all on camera. It's all on camera. Yeah. So, but yeah, for a young child, you know, I think the primary
first-time driver, learn to drive on the road.
Be respectful of, first of all, be respectful to the rules of the road. You
yes,
don't want to lose your car, because if you're charged with stunt driving, your car is impounded for 14 days, and it's on average between, let's say, between $65 and $100 per day to have your car in the pound.
Wow.
Right? They'll also charge you a hookup fee, and so this can cost you over $2,000. And if it's a rental, and that happens several times, imagine what it's going to cost you for a rental, because the rental fees per day, etc. Plus your license is suspended for 30 days. So it's important that a young driver know what the rules of the road are. You start out as a G1 driver, right? Yes. It calls you a probationary driver. You have to drive with a G driver in the car with you, someone's license at all times, in the front seat next to you. Right? So you're being monitored by someone who's an experienced driver. And you can't have any more passengers than seatbelts. There are limitations in terms of when you can drive, et cetera, et cetera. And when you get to G2, those restrictions are a little less rigid or stringent, but you still cannot drive between, I believe it's the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. on the highway. No more passengers than seatbelts. Everything else is pretty well, you're okay. But the demerit points also come into play here. As a G1 driver, you can only get 6 points before you get a suspension. As a G2 driver, you get as many as 9 points before your license is suspended for 30 days. We're getting into kind of intricate stuff, and that may be too much.
But so in terms of just support, there's parents out there, or there's young drivers out there who've gotten into trouble through driving, either speeding or what have you, but don't know where to go. Or that they have support, or they can turn to, they have support systems. So what would you recommend what should they do? Should they call like your office, or like, how do they go about getting help?
Listen, I mean, I'm going to say this. I think what I do is quite valuable. An ounce of,
Continue, go ahead, sorry about that.
And it goes back to the old adage, an ounce of knowledge beats a pound of cure. Is that what?
Yes. Ounce of knowledge beats a pound of cure.
Yeah, if you know the little things, you can certainly get around things, right? You're charged with speeding. Yeah. Let's say you're charged with 30 over. You go and you pay that ticket. Say, I'm just going to pay it. Well, you just pay.
Which most often is what we do. We get a ticket, and we just go pay it.
You now just put 4 demerit points on your license.
40.
4 demerit points.
And then the insurance may also.
Hello. The insurance is directly related to offenses as well as demerit points. Yeah. You get a ticket, you go and pay it, and you hear again. This is where a little bit of knowledge is key, because you take that ticket, you file it in the court as not guilty. The matter comes to trial. Well, first of all, if the officer doesn't show up, everybody knows this. If an officer doesn't show up, then the matter gets thrown out generally, unless you've given a good reason as to why he's not in court.
Yeah.
If the officer does show up, you can get that 30 reduced to 15 over where there's no demerit points. So you could save all 4 demerit points just by filing the ticket in the court.
So you're saying, because most often time you get a ticket and
Yep.
you just think that, okay, let me just pay it.
Yep.
And but you're saying that you do have options. Explore those options.
Absolutely.
Right? Call someone. Seek advice.
Absolutely.
Seek counsel.
Absolutely.
The Bible says that without counsel,
Yes.
purpose or
Yes.
disappointment.
Yes.
Right? So in other words, that if you do get in trouble and you get caught speeding, fault of yours or not your fault, either way, seek options. There's options out there for you. Kids, you know why? It's a true story. Many years ago, I got a traffic violation for I stopped at a red light and I turned on the light, making a left turn.
Okay.
And the officer pulled me over and said that you stunt drive. He said that you turn on a red light, so it's called stunting. I accepted the charge and paid the ticket, not knowing that wasn't even stunting. My car was impounded for days.
Yes.
And I got the wrong ticket. I learned after that he gave me the wrong ticket.
It certainly sounds like that.
Right.
That's not considered stunt driving.
Because I was not speeding over 150.
Yeah.
I made a left turn on a red light because the light changed and I got stuck in the middle of the intersection. And I still turned on it.
Yep.
Right. And he said that was stunting. So not knowing my rights
Yes.
at the time,
Yes.
I just plead guilty and pay the ticket.
Bad mistake.
Right.
So this is where, like I said, an ounce of knowledge beats a pound of cure, because a lot of things can be resolved with a slight amount of damage if you know what it is you're doing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, and also being a man of faith, because you're a faith believer just like myself, right?
Yes.
How does faith, you believe in God, and intertwine what you do for youth in the community, for what you do?
Well, I will give you an example. No, first of all, let me approach it this way.
Yeah.
The one thing I never do is encourage my clients to lie. Okay? You take an oath, and you do not, and you stick that oath. Because when you take the stand, you do have to swear. What I'm about to say is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, or Allah, or... Okay. So I've got a client, let's say, and I'll give you an example, because this is going to happen tomorrow morning. I've got a client that was charged with using his cell phone.
While driving?
While driving.
Okay.
Now, using your cell phone while driving comes with, first of all, 3 demerit points, but also comes with a 3-day suspension of your license. Do not.
As a realtor, as a real estate agent, I'm in my car and I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting texts.
Bluetooth.
And I'm always having my phone. So you're saying that just by using my phone while I'm driving.
Yep. You won't be, your car will not be impounded at that point in time, no. It's upon conviction. So you'd have to be convicted in order to get your license, suspended for 3 days. There's no car impoundment, but there is that suspension for 3 days of your license when you're convicted.
So do you hear that? Everyone out there, like myself,
do not
drive while using your cell phone. 3 days.
Yep. And 3 demerit points.
Plus the fine and the insurance possibly going up.
There's no question, because here again, on your abstract, it shows suspension of your license for 3 days. And that is what the insurance companies love to see. That's when they hit you hard. Okay? So it has a terrible domino effect, right? It's not just a conviction on your record. Now you're looking at a 3-day suspension of your license, and now you're also looking at insurance, serious insurance implications as a result. All right? So just a quick little bit of knowledge. As a G driver, meaning that you're now fully licensed, you have up to 15 demerit points that you can accrue in the space of 2 years before your license gets suspended. 15 demerit points. Okay. All right. That could be a couple of speedings, 1 stunt driving, and that could be it. Any charge you get, and it doesn't matter what it is, driving under suspension, no insurance, stunt drive, we always challenge the evidence in court. So this is where it comes to faith, and you asked me about faith, and because I'm in a business where inherent lying can be part of this business. Like I said, I don't ever put a client on the stand and encourage him to lie. I will not. And I got this guy who said to me today, okay, it's driving on his cell phone. I was using my cell phone, but you know how to defend me. I said, well, I'm not a genius. You know, I'm not a genius. No, genius might be. I don't do magic. I said, I can't make it disappear. I mean, the evidence is the evidence. And we saw the evidence. We saw your car drifting on the hard shoulder to the left. Oh, it was the wind. I said, the wind. And then the police officer came
must be a heavy wind.
You know, I said, the police officer said he saw you on the phone.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, but you can defend it. I said, how am I going to tell me? You know, I said, I might be able to raise some doubt regarding what occurred.
Correct.
I said, but you need to prepare yourself that you're going to be convicted because I really don't have a whole lot to work with. I said, if you take the stand, it's up to you. You want to lie. I said, I encourage you not, because I do not do that. It's entirely up to you, because this is your case ultimately, because you could actually complain to the law society and say, Mr. Heath, this was my wish, and he didn't fulfill my wish. So yeah, if he's willing to take the stand and he's willing to tell a lie, it's not my place to say to the judge he's lying. I can't do that. This is here again. Maybe this is where, your Christianity and stuff becomes an issue. I've encouraged you not to lie to take the stand. I will try and discredit the officer. You want to take the stand and lie? It's your case. I got to do my job. I will put you on the stand. This is what happened. I wasn't on my phone. I was scratching the side of my head. I don't know what the officer saw.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is sometimes a conundrum that I face. Right?
I mean, being a lawyer as well overall, I mean, one of the things with a lawyer, and if you're a lawyer and you believe in God and you're trying to do the right thing, you have a situation where, it does challenge your belief, but you have to stick to what your core belief system is.
Correct.
Right? Because the reason why we're talking today, guys, about traffic violations and knowing your right, and as a first-time driver, because there's so many first-time drivers on the road today, Ken.
Yes.
And they don't know their rights.
Correct.
Right. And they will get stopped by a police officer, and I think because of the narrative, right away. I'm speaking about black youth, whether it's male or female, but youth more so than general.
Sure.
That if a police officer pulls you over, right away, your guard seems to go up.
Of course. Of course, yeah.
Because you're thinking that, okay, if you're speeding, you're speeding.
Correct.
But in some cases, you're like, okay, why are you stopping me? All right, and not knowing your rights.
Yep.
And that's important, and go ahead.
No, an officer, if he's pulling you over, he has to have probable cause.
Yeah.
So if he runs a check on your plate and realizes you haven't registered your plate, he has probable cause to pull you over. Now he has the right to check your documents. If he puts his head in and he smells reefer coming out of your car, now it can escalate.
Okay.
It can escalate into issues. He has the right now to pull you from the car and search your car, right? But he has to have probable cause.
But I like what you said earlier, though, because as I said, many times you do get these violations, and you, guilty or not, but you assume that I have to pay this.
Yes.
And which most cases you may have to pay, but you're saying that don't rush to that.
No.
Just yet.
Absolutely
Seek
not.
out.
Absolutely. It can save you a lot of money. And I'll make this point to you, and the point is simply this. There are many reasons why these charges get thrown out, dismissed, withdrawn, and guilt or innocence has nothing to do with it. It could be a fatal flaw in the ticket, in the way it was the officer wrote the ticket or issued the ticket. It could be that the officer is reassigned for that day. It could be that he forgot his notes at home that day or in his office, whatever. I can tell you stories that would really, really say, wow. I had a nephew that was in some serious trouble. Police came to my office because they knew me personally, right? This is really funny. I'm trying to make this as short as possible. He's a young man. At the time, he was about 21 years old. He came to my office, and he said, brother, he said, Uncle Ken, they stopped me, and they charging me. Anyway, the police, I can't remember the details, but the police somehow contacted me, knowing that I was, because he saw the last name.
Yeah. So he knew who you were.
He said this is. So when he came down to my office and he goes, well, I kind of knew it was you because I saw the last name. Now, I didn't know the officer. And this is the other thing, I guess, about being tall, right? And have a certain presence. People know you.
Yeah.
I'll be walking in the streets, and, hey, man, 20 years ago, you helped me out with the traffic ticket. You don't remember, you know? But the officers came into my office, and they said, well, let me make this point clear to the kid, my nephew. He says, oh, we know it was you driving the car. We saw you. You know, we saw you with our eyes. We know it's you. But we're not going to charge you, you know, because we know this guy very well. Anyone else we might. But he said, you know, we know Mr. Heath very well, so we're going to give you a break, right? Sure, yeah, they left and they didn't charge him. They're going to charge him with failed to remain at the scene of an accident, failed to report an accident. There was all kinds of charges, serious charges that he was facing that they said, okay, you know what, we're going to give you a break.
You heard that, guys? So if you are in any trouble, traffic violation, do call my buddy Ken. Yeah. And so if someone wants to reach out to you or reach you, where's your office? And tell us more about.
Okay. First and foremost, I don't guarantee anything. I pride myself on being very honest with my clients. Yeah. Okay. I don't make any assertions or guarantees. What you will get from me is this. Yeah. I can't guarantee I'm going to get you off, but my goal is to get you off, right? If I can't get you off, it's to get you the best result possible. And I will fight to get you the best result possible. So that's how I cover myself. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but I will fight for you. I will try, and if I can't get you off, I'm going to get you the best result possible. And understand that I will fight you whether you pay me or whether you haven't paid me. I will fight for you.
Do you find that you're dealing with a lot of youth, or just?
You know, I was discussing this with you off camera before we got on here. There was a young man, and I don't get much youth. I've just now gotten into the criminal side of things and young offenders and stuff. But a young man came to my office with his mother, and he came with a neck brace. Wow. He got into a fight with a group of kids. There was a whole bunch of them. We looked at the video. And he's such a slightly built kid. You know, he came in and went during the melee, and he put a little punch and he ran away. White guy grabbed him, threw him up against the wall, knocked him unconscious from the throat to the wall by his knapsack. And after he threw him from the wall, he walked away.
And this kid was, how old would you say this kid was?
16.
Okay.
He walked away, the guy, and he came back and kicked him in the head. So he was, not only was he unconscious from being thrown to the wall, he was given a concussion from being kicked. So when he came into my office, neck brace, and he showed me the x-ray, and his vertebra had dislodged. And only because he was a young kid that things worked out for this poor kid. But he got charged with assault because he threw a little punch in the melee, right? So during the course of the case, the white kid that got into the fight, he was the only one that they interviewed, and I found that very peculiar. But this is a system that we live in. He sat with the white kid, and they interviewed him for about 40 minutes. And the white kid said, yeah, you know, I don't even know how the fight started because the guy that him and I got in a fight with, you know, I was somebody I knew. And, you know, we weren't friendly, but I knew him, and we would kind of say hi to each other. But, yeah, he attacked me. And the two of them, just a fight, two kids getting into a fight, and then a bunch of other kids got involved. He said, yeah, but that kid, I'm talking to my client about my client, he had a knife. And I saw the knife, and, yeah, I'm not sure where it came out or when. And when the cop was questioning him, the cop never asked him, well, you know, no one else saw a knife. How did you see a knife, right? I mean, there's a group of kids. No one yelled knife. He's got a knife. Because if you hear someone's got a knife, you're going to scatter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So after viewing the tape, and I confronted my client, I said, you had a knife. He said, what are you talking about? I didn't have a knife. Anyway, I'm going to make the story short. They went into, they asked that he did a course. It's a course for young offenders, so that he wouldn't get a criminal charge. But they wanted him to sign a peace bond, and they wanted to put him on a 1-year probation.
So the kid that came out
with the neck brace and stuff, they wanted to sign
he's the one that charged.
Sign a common law peace bond.
Go back, you know, I'm sorry to cut you, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is that
the system.
The system. And then we have these young kids who are getting their license, getting on the road, and the system is not there to support them. So I just want everyone to know that you're there, and you can provide them with guidance, with information.
Absolutely.
And they don't necessarily have to accept what is given to them.
Question.
Right?
Absolutely. No question.
Time is running out. How do we get a hold of you?
You can reach me at, my number is 647-889-4242. 647-889-4242.
And your firm is called, what is it called?
It's called Heath Paralegal Services, and I'm at Bellamy and Ellesmere in Scarborough. I've been doing this since 1996, going into my 30th year of practice.
Everyone, thanks again. Thank you for joining in tonight. Time ran out on us, but stay tuned, and we will follow up with Ken. It's important that we know our rights, especially young drivers out there, to know that you do have a right on the road as well, so you don't have to accept what is given unto you. And so, Ken, thanks for coming out tonight.
You're very welcome,
everyone,
Everton.
thanks for joining. Have a great night. See you next week. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.